Alright, I'm going to try and install a Garmin 55 dash camera and a Lincoln Navigator. It's a 2019. It's very similar to my F150 of how it's set up. The only difference is this hook, this handle right here, is harder to figure out how to get off. So I'm going to try and get that off, and then I'll show you how to install it. And this will be with the parking mode cable. So I've determined that I can't get this pillar off. I'm not sure what it is about trying to get these things off, but there's fabric right here, as you can tell. If you touch it too much, it nicks it up. There's no real way to effectively get that off without probably damaging the entire handle. So what I did was, I got the trim, the molding off, and I got a fish tape and fished it behind the airbag. You can kind of see through there maybe. See if I can get it to work. This camera's not the best. I got it behind the airbag and fished it up through there. You can see it come right there. I nicked up my window tinting a little bit in the windshield. I think that should do it. Then we can work on the bottom part pretty easily going down. But at this point, I'm not removing the A-pillar trim. You also need to be very careful popping off this trim down here. As you can tell, there are quite a few wires in here. So this thing pops right out, but you have to remove this molding around the side for the rest of the trim. You can see it kind of going around. See, it goes down, down, all the way around. And this thing should just pop right off to where you can get access to it. I have molding removed, wire fished through the A-pillar with a fish tape very carefully. Down, channel all the way through, nice and big, all the way down. Remove this trim down here. You can tell a bunch of wires. There's a little adapter right here. Don't forget to undo this, otherwise you're going to yank it out, and the little Lincoln light on top of this won't work anymore. So make sure you do it slowly. I worked from this way up. Once I got this side up with the trim off, I was able to find this little wire and detach it before I pulled the entire thing off. But this should give you access to a grounding port back there to the fuse panel. I should be able to get this thing already. So I got this hooked up. I need to crimp down the wires. Here's, you can kind of tell if I can just slide it out of the way. Where I hooked this up, I have the battery on the top and the accessory, which is the switched one on the bottom. The switched one on the bottom, I believe, is for the heated steering wheel. And the battery one, I need to look in a second and tell you. I forgot exactly which one it was. I think that was the keypad outside attached to that. So I know the keypad in these things always work. And the grounding wire eventually will have to go right here. So I'll attach the grounding right to there. When I did that, I fired up the thing, and without it being only fully wired up, everything worked. It turned on. When I turned the vehicle off, it entered into battery parking mode. So this should be the right way of doing it. As you can tell, still vehicle is, once the trim work pulled apart, onto the top. This trim is easy to come off. It just, pushes back on pretty easily. Just kind of pain. It looks kind of gross right now, but hopefully you'll button it back up and you won't be able to tell. All right, thanks. I got the ground hooked up there. Those wires crimped. The wire ran all the way up to the headliner. You can't see it coming right down. The little thing on top of the mirror pops right off. And if you can tell it's recording right now, it's in the accessory mode. But the wire is hooked right behind here inside this channel going down. As I pop through here, I'll just put all the stuff nicely tucked up and ready to go.